Seagull doesn't spoil us with many models under $400, let alone under $200. However, now and again they quietly roll out a watch that kinda flies under a radar, like in the case of this model that I have here. However, there is hardly anything subtle or budget about this timepiece. As a matter of fact, in hand it feels quite premium, so a very interesting watch. And not only does it have a very interesting dial, the dial here is almost perfectly symmetrical too, which I know should make a lot of you very, very excited. Hello and welcome back! Seagull is celebrating this year 70 years since it was founded in 1995, and possibly as part of this milestone they released and most likely still going to release a number of very interesting and very well priced timepieces, like this collection here, which Seagull calls Natural Series with Polaris sub-dial. For full transparency, Seagull did send me this watch for review and I get to keep it. Other than that, Seagull had no other input into this video, and I hope they will be watching it for the first time when I publish it on my channel. And of course, I will put all the necessary product links to this watch in the description of this video. So, from the design standpoint, there is quite a bit to discuss. We of course have here an original design from one of the largest watch and watch movement manufacturers in the world. And what is significant is that there are no compromises on quality of the materials, like we see so often from brands like Seiko, especially under $500 price tag. We have here a slab of sapphire crystal in the front, and by the way, we also get in-house Seagull movement in the back, and something that we don't see on Seiko watches even priced under $1,000. Yes, we have here signed crown. Seagull offers this watch in 4 different colorways: lava red, dune yellow, rock gray and ocean blue. All 4 are inspired by nature elements found on our planet Earth. However, sub-dial below the pinion is inspired by a celestial body, the Polaris, also known as North Star or Pole Star, a navigation beacon in heavens used by travelers for centuries. Now, a word of warning, I've seen this watch offered for considerably higher prices from some other sellers, so do be careful when shopping around. I will link Seagull's official stores in the description, so check the prices there first. So, dimensions. We have a 40mm case diameter and 20mm lugs, so we can take a full advantage of that most popular strap size. Now, 40mm case diameter might sound a bit on the high side, however, this watch wears really well, because Seagull managed to make the case really slim, measuring only 10.3mm high, and also lug-to-lug distance is a little bit over 46mm here, and having inverted end links, this watch should wear really well on pretty much most wrist sizes, starting from about 6 inches and up. So, excellent set of dimensions, and I will of course demonstrate how this watch wears on my about 7-inch wrist throughout this video. Seagull supplied enough spare links here to cover wrists up to 8.5 inches or about 21.5 centimeters in circumference, and this watch weighs 125 grams and 112 grams after resizing it to my about 7-inch wrist. So we have a round case here with the short curved down lugs, the fixed bezel, and the top of the case have mirror polish finish, and the sides of the case are brushed. The satin brushing on the slender flanks even further emphasize the slim profile of this already thin watch, making it look really elegant. As I pointed out earlier, we have here signed crown. The crown is well proportioned and is very easy to engage. It is a push-pull crown which works for this style of watch and is sufficient for the declared 50 meters of water resistance. The screw-on exhibition case back provides good view of the Seagull in-house ST17 movement, and while this is not the sexiest movement by any stretch of imagination, it is actually better looking in person compared to the product pictures. We even have here some level of decoration like Geneva stripes on the rotor and on the movement plates. This movement beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour and has about 40 hours of power reserve. One thing to keep in mind, this movement comes in a number of different variants, and this particular one does not hack. As you can see, the second hand, which is disguised as an octagonal polar star, is still running when I pull the crown out to set the time. The dial is covered by a perfectly flat piece of sapphire crystal, and thanks to sapphire high scratch resistance, which is very close to diamond, the risk of scratches here is greatly reduced. I'm not sure if there is any anti-reflective coating applied here, I couldn't find any mention of it in the product listings. However, the high contrast dial is very legible at pretty much most viewing angles. And talking of dial, it is of course the centerpiece of this watch. The execution is impeccable, as we would expect from such a reputable brand as Seagull. I like the angled rehaut with the printed minute chaptering, which makes the dial look even more shallow than it already is. The brand name and the word automatic below the 12 o'clock marker are not just printed, but actually painted on top of the relief, which is ever so slightly protruding out of the already three-dimensional dial background. I also like the gradient coloration of the dial, fading from red to almost black on the perimeter, and as such drawing our attention to the center. And we have a second-hand sub-dial above the 6 o'clock marker, which is slightly recessed into the dial and also features a circular pattern. Really good attention to detail. And of course, something we don't see for some strange reason on almost no other brands from China. Proudly China-made at the bottom of the dial. And to my surprise, we also get here a pretty decent lume for this style of watch. Here is my 15-minute lume test, not a diver level lume by any means of course, but sufficient enough to provide legibility in poor light conditions. As for the bracelet, I like that the bracelet finish quality matches the finishing quality of the case. We have a solid stainless steel inverted L-links as well as solid stainless steel bracelet links. The outside parts of the links have satin brushing on top and on the sides, and the three middle stripes are mirror polished, resulting in a nice light play. The bracelet does have a slight taper from 20mm lugs down to just under 18mm by the clasp. The links are connected by pins, and the bracelet feels nice and solid with very decent tolerances. Okay, there are some cost-saving compromises have been made on this bracelet, however, Seagull also did them in a very skillful way. So, for example, the links that look like they are constructed out of 5 independent parts actually made out of 5 pieces that are fused solid together, which in part contributes to a good solid feel of the bracelet, but at the same time reduces the flexibility and articulation between the links. Not a biggie, but something to keep in mind. And we also get here a simple butterfly clasp. Butterfly clasps are a good, robust design solution for such a style of watch. However, most butterfly clasps, and this one is not an exception, lack macro adjustments. Some manufacturers address this issue by introducing half links in the bracelet, allowing for more precise bracelet sizing. However, as we can see, it is not the case here. So finding a perfect fit on this particular bracelet might be a bit of a challenge. However, one of my favorite features of this watch is actually how it wears. Despite its 40mm case diameter, which might sound a bit on the larger side according to the current trends, this watch wears definitely smaller, and it is thanks to its very slim profile of just over 10mm and a very compact lug-to-lug distance of 46.3mm, and not to forget, a very good weight of about 120 grams. There shouldn't be any issues in sliding this watch under a shirt cuff, and in terms of wrist presence, well, to me it looks like it has plenty, and at the same time it is not overpowering, despite it's definitely not a subtle color scheme. Right, verdict time. Well, big brand, very interesting and original design, high quality materials, attention to detail and high quality of execution. All this for frankly a very competitive price. Okay, a screw down crown would probably complement this chrome caseback and would allow to bump up the water resistance, so something I would put into a nice to have basket, especially for this style of watch. Other than that, definitely a timepiece that I would recommend. What are your thoughts? Well, do let us know in the comments. And for more great value watches, including from Seagull, check out my playlist somewhere around here on the screen. Don't forget to like and of course subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you for watching, take care, and I will see you in the next video.